years, a lot of people have heard a lot of different things from you. What do you want to tell us now?
Well, I'll tell you, you had an editorial in the Los Angeles Times. I don't know if you actually wrote it personally or you approved it, your staff.
We read it.
But in it, you seem to say that amnesty is not acceptable. I'm going to paraphrase you. And then 2 paragraphs later, you laid out the case for that Senate bill, which basically is amnesty, with some
paying fines and so forth.
So, we read it on the air, and we all, Ken and I, agreed that the 2 paragraphs were incompatible. It's like you were for amnesty and then you were against amnesty. So where are you on that exactly?
I totally understand that you guys sometimes do get confused.
We're usually confused. Doesn't take much. No, seriously.
The fact of the matter is, I made it very clear. The way I see it is very simple with immigration reform. We have to have comprehensive immigration reform, which means that we must secure our borders, number one.
You like the fence, the 700-mile fence?
Let me just finish. Number 2, simultaneously, we must have guest workers programs so that the companies and farmers from America, if they can't find the workforce here in this country, can go outside the United States. If it's people from Austria, from India, or from Mexico, it makes no difference. Go outside the United States and find that workforce. Because if we do not get that workforce, then we have here, like for instance, there are crops, spilling on the ground, and they're not getting picked, and we don't have enough workers, and that is also bad for our industry and for our economy. So it backfires on us. So this is why I said those 2 things go hand in hand, to have guest worker program and at the same time secure the border. Right now what they've done is they've done half of the job, which is the secure border, but where is the chance for companies from America and farmers from America to go outside and to get workers if they need more workers?
Do you think the border is secure? Is that what you're saying?
No, they passed it. No, by far not secure.
Yeah, because you said simultaneously. That's scary to our audience.
No, what they've done is they've passed a bill, and it was signed, which says, okay, we secure the border. It would take years for them to build that fence and everything like this. Let's not kidding ourselves here. But it's only half of the challenge that they have really
But don't you want to wait before we start giving out guest worker programs and amnesties?
No, because we need it right now. We need right now more workers. We have seen when we sent, for instance, the 1,000 National Guard troops to the borders, we saw immediately a month later, we saw the numbers, 26% less border crossings. So it had an immediate impact, and immediately they felt it here in the kind of lack of workers that they had.
You mean apprehensions? Because we don't know how many are crossing the border.
Well, no, we do know how much. You
don't know how many illegals are crossing the border?
Look,
how do you know that?
No, but they have said there's a 26% of less crossings and than they had before. So that's a number that is a very good number.
The danger of setting up amnesty or guest worker programs before you have the fence up is that everyone's going to come piling over, figuring they'll sneak under the border or sneak under the wire and get in.
No, but
that aggravates your problem. I mean, you've got budget problems constantly. And there's $10 billion that goes for the illegals every year.
I totally agree with you. It has to be done simultaneously. That's what we call comprehensive immigration reform. Right now, half of it was tackled, and the other half has not been tackled. And I think that it is inexcusable that the federal government cannot get their act together. We have known this problem for years and years and years. Known it for years. They look the other way, and that is a big, big mistake. And this is why we as a state and our border states, all border states, when we get together with the border governors at the conference, we talk about this all the time of what a huge, huge mistake it is for the federal government to just look the other way and let this happen and let this crisis develop like it has.
Now, what do you want to do with the 12 to 20 million that are here right now?
Well, first of all, we don't know exactly how many there are.
No, I gave a pretty
broad range. We also don't know exactly who they are that are really here, because that has been the big challenge and the big problem that there's no background check on some of those people or on all of the people. We don't know exactly who is here with a real visa or with a matricular card that is real or not. So there's some challenges that have to be faced. But I think that we have to go through a system and say who has been here, who has been born here in this country, in order to go through a systematic way of determining, who should go back. I mean, I think the Senate has tried to approach that issue by saying, people that have been here longer than 5 years should be able to stay. I don't know how you're going to prove even that someone has been here 5 years, or 4 years, or 6 years. And all those things.
I know.
But I think that has to be thought out carefully and done the right way. But in any case, it has to be done in a compassionate way rather than in a brutal way that some people have suggested.
So what, a lot of people make jokes that you've been governor for 3 years and we've had 3 different versions of Governor Schwarzenegger. And you have changed your tack from year to year. Part of it is just, I guess, learning on the job. Which Schwarzenegger are we getting next year? That's what a lot of people want to know.
Well, the same one as you have had there for the last 3 years, which is a governor that is bringing Democrats and Republicans together to solve the problems, and someone that has a big vision, someone that wants to move the state forward, someone that wants to create more jobs and make sure